And Jacob begot Joseph,
the husband of Mary.
the husband of who?
The husband of Mary.
The husband of Mary. So the lineage goes all the way from the beginning of Abraham down to David and Solomon to Joseph, the husband of Mary. Read.
Of whom was born Yeshua.
Hold up. Why do Christians want to jump straight to the 18th verse and ignore the fact that the lineage comes through Joseph? Somebody tell me the Bible is a lie. That means, let's make this clear. If Christ is not through this lineage, then he's not an Israelite. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Because you want me to jump straight to the 18th verse in the birth, but let's go through the family lineage and see how Christ came on the earth. Interesting, ain't it? Before actually going into the news with brother and deacon, brother Mark, and I would like to say this, I would like to invite and say a special thank you to you brothers and sisters who have supported us through the years, and the number of brothers and sisters who have just joined. I see Men Empowered. We were on their radio show. We thank them, the brothers who are doing the work back there in America and all over the earth. We thank our brothers who are in the Middle East that are doing the work. Okay. We thank our brothers and our sisters, can't forget our sisters, over in Europe who's doing the work. All right, and we appreciate all your support. But without further ado, let's go into the news. Brother Mark, what you have here for us today? Of course, I have no input whatsoever in finding this news, but it's amazing. The more news you go into, the more prophecy you see the Most High's fulfilling. What do you have there, Brother Mark?
Okay, first of all, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the third news part of the Hebrew Academy. Okay, so I've got a list of items here that hopefully we can go through all of them. If there's not enough time, then we can roll over some of them to next week. We've got CIA-backed IT firm offers view into the future. You can find that information on the local.se. The second article we have is in the UK. The compulsory retirement age at 65 is fully abolished. I'll say it again. The compulsory retirement age for the UK, currently or previously set at 65, is abolished.
So people in the United States will know compulsory. We know what the word compulsory means, but we don't apply that to our retirement plan. So if you can.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. The third one. The Home Secretary, again in the UK, the Home Secretary is to scrap Human Rights Act. I'll say it again. The Home Secretary in the UK plans to do away with the Human Rights Act. You can find that on uknews.yahoo.com. The fourth one, we have scientists warn that drugs of the future will be designed specifically to control the human mind. And you've got two sources for that. You've got naturalnews.com and you've got theage.com.
What we'll do is we'll send them all these links. I think the links were sent, right? Yeah, we're going to send them all the links. So they'll have the links.
Okay. And if there's time permitting, we may either this week or definitely next week go into something very interesting. It primarily stems from something a lot of you may be aware of, and that's called Codex Alimentarius, which is basically food code in Latin. And it's dealing with the removal of nutrition in foods. And there's another article linked to that where the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Association? Administration, sorry. The FDA, they're saying that no one has any given rights for, as I say, natural food. So you have no God-given right to eat natural food that grows out of the ground. In other words, you have to eat GMO food. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, I first want to start off by saying bless you all and shalom. Ahaya Bashim Yeshai Barakathum, which means bless you all in the name of the Most High in Christ. Today marks the beginning of week 7 of the Hebrew Online Bible Academy. Now, last week we covered the breakdown of the Ten Commandments in Hebrew for last week's academy. For this week's academy, we'll be covering the breakdown of Psalms chapter 121. And if you want to follow us along, both in the English, you can find this particular prayer. And once again, the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 20, or chapter 121. If you want to follow along in English. Also, you can follow along in Hebrew for those who have the document that you received for this particular academy. And real quick, I'll read this prayer in English. And this is basically what you will call a protection prayer. And now this prayer you would recite before you embark on any journey, before you leave the house, or before you do anything, before you embark on anything and you want protection from the Most High. This is the particular prayer you would recite. Now, first I'll read it in English in the book of Psalms, chapter 1, starting at verse 121, excuse me, verse 1. I'll start off reading it in English, and then I'll go into the Hebrew and break it down. Okay, I'm starting off at verse 1. It says, I will lift up my eyes into the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper. The Most High is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Most High shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Most High shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So that's the particular prayer you can find in the book of Psalms, chapter 121. Now, we just read it in the English. Now we can start to break it down in the Hebrew. For those who received the lesson from last night, those who received the document, this is what the document should look like. As you can see at the top, it states Psalm chapter 1, verse 21. And right under the title, we have the whole prayer written out in Hebrew. Okay, so real quick, I'll skim through it, reading it in Hebrew, and then we'll break it down word for word so that you can have the understanding on what each word means. Starting off at the top, it states, Amashah, Ayanya, Al-Haharyam, Ma'ayan Yaba'a, Isaiah, Maba'a, Ahaya Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza La'a, Yanawam Wala'a, Yayashan Shawamar, Yasha'ala Ahaya Shemarka, Ahaya Tizalka, Al Yad Yamyinka Yawam Hashemash La'a, Yanaka Wayarach, Balayala, Ahaya, Yashamarka Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Af Napashka, Ahaya Yashamar Taza'afka, Wa Bawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa I Walam.